Go live. Welcome and good evening to Adventures in Defikingdoms. This is Raph streaming to you live high above the keep in the hot air balloon. Tonight, as always, I have Neindorf with me. Neindorf, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It might be a little quieter tonight. We don't have the quite the panel we had last time.
Hey, right, I know. I'm still kind of recovering from the information overload um, from last time, but yeah, it's nice to get kind of back into the normal swing of things. I got kind of a wide variety of things I'd like to talk about, but also let's involve the listeners tonight. If you have a question, go ahead and throw it out there in chat, and we will try to get to it after the question of the day from Neindorf. So, Neindorf, you want to take us away with the question of the day?
Yeah. So this is kind of something related to what I was asking you about offline, and something that maybe I think it was Tad who posted in our guild chat a little bit, what are the value of pets now that eggs are harder to find?
Yeah, it's such a good question. And I think time will tell. I think you and I both have a very controversial opinion out there in the space, and maybe not so much so anymore, but that pets naturally don't have any kind of built-in game deflationary mechanism. So I think you know, Hubert has done a good job of talk when he's talked about hero population challenges. There's two sides to every equation: the supply side and the demand side. I feel like with this recent change, it makes a lot of sense. This has impacted, the supply side of that equation, and I think could you impact the demand side? I'm not sure. I think in the future we still need probably more impact on the supply side, and that would be with some kind of pet burning mechanism. Like if you go into a death match with heroes and you have a strong pet, you can choose for them to take the wound instead of your hero. I think
Oh yeah,
something
that
like
would be
that
awesome.
could be an interesting feature in the future. But I think obviously the pet values are going up. We'll see duels come around here sometime soon. I don't think. Actually, no. Hubert was kind of committal about he wants a few things out there for PvP, and that's all the basic classes, abilities, or the traits, and combat bonuses from pets. And so I think because of that, pets will ultimately rise in value quite a bit once we get to PvP, which I'm mentally targeting for end of the year.
Okay. Yeah, that I think I'm kind of with you. I'd kind of gotten real against pets for a while there when they didn't seem like, you're feeding them and you're burning the mats that they're taking the time to get. And it just didn't seem like it mattered a whole lot other than like, if you had gardens and you were boosting your gardens, that obviously made a difference. But now I feel like I don't have a garden position really to speak of at the moment. So yeah, I've kind of been anti-pets, but I was like, I don't think I've found a single egg still since the race changed.
Hmm.
Uh, so it's interesting. Yeah, so you're right. The supply side is going to have a serious impact.
Yeah.
I don't think the demand side's changed yet, but to your point, maybe duels will do that. Um, and so I'm kind of torn a little bit. So I kind of put together a real quick, kind of a expected value calculator like we've done, years back. At this point, I kind of
For
see doing
sure.
that. Um, and it looks to me like with the floor prices of each color of egg, it looks like you can expect to the cost is roughly 100 crystal when you take everything into account.
Sure.
The egg, the tiers, the other stuff. So I just rounded to 100. It's pretty close. It looks like the expected value is about 64 crystal. So basically, when you
Trading
pop that
down.
mythic, yeah, when you pop that mythic, you want a 9 star, or you want at least 3 star in. At this point, you want 3 star in either the combat or the profession. Crafting, no one seems to care about at the moment, but someday.
Yeah, that seems farther out. How do you feel about pets and their experience boost? And maybe this is just a kind of more of a mental thing for me, but would my heroes that, and I have more like a set of like regular questers. I try to get something between 6 and 9 hunts in a day. I can tell the difference between my heroes that have pets and don't have pets just based on the experience that they're bringing home. But I don't know how much value that's really worth. It feels like a lot to me mentally, but I might just be getting tricked. 200 more experience here or there doesn't really make a difference in the long run. But that's the other value that I feel like pets are bringing right now.
Yeah, and that's a great point because especially if it's a hero that you're hunting with, in my opinion, then I think that value kind of helps offset the crystal cost and the gold cost on those matches where you get 4 tiers and you spent, 10 minutes. So
Right.
I think that's where, given the time commitment for hunting, I think on those ones having a rare, at least a rare pet if not above. I mean, rare pets are like running for mid 30s right now. If you can't afford a rare pet on each hunt, then you probably should pause hunting for a moment.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great point. And you're right in the sense that the ones that gain extra XP are pricier pets, no doubt.
Yeah.
So if you get lucky to pop one of those, I mean, that can be a huge difference in your expected value. Again, I just took the floor prices at each rarity for each color, and honestly, they are very similar, about 64 or 65 crystal expected values.
All right. So I'd love to get some questions going here in chat. Let me switch my chat viewing here. The only question I see so far is from Beeve. Uh, what up, ADFK fam? So I'll tell you
Well,
what's
yeah,
up. The solar eclipse is up today.
no kidding. Did
It,
you go out and did you see that by chance?
I did. I have a coworker who he has a special lens for his telescope for looking at sunspots,
Oh,
um,
cool.
which is about 8 inches in diameter, and it made the viewing experience quite satisfactory, beyond satisfactory. I really enjoyed it. So we went outside for a while today, and I didn't trust the gas station glasses. I don't know. There was something about it, but I'm like, I could see my eyesight totally going out the window at sometime tonight if I was using those gas station glasses. So how about you?
Yeah, I didn't have any glasses, but I peeked out and walked around. I think the coolest part was like you're looking at shadows, and shadows of things had like a crescent bend to them. So that was really ominous and pretty cool too, I would say. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was exciting.
And I feel like the wind kind of picked up as it took on as well. I don't know. Maybe that's just all mental, but it was neat. Actually, I want to share. There was a guild member who was in Missouri, and Tolls for Thee, I believe, shared an awesome photo in chat. I gotta find it. Okay, yeah. Let me bring this up here. Okay. So I should be sharing this on screen now. Absolutely phenomenal photo of, and he was in Missouri, so in the path of totality. I actually had a coworker who went to Mexico, had a similar amazing photo. I think there's some really cool ones out there. So just kind of fun when there's events like this that really bring people together. uh, Love it. One of the things that we were joking around about is like, all right, at 2 p.m., which was Central Time for us, we're like, who's gonna make the ritual sacrifices today? So it made me want to throw some heroes in the pit for the solar eclipse. Um, Anyways, there could have
That's
been,
pretty
there
funny.
should have
Yeah.
been like some fun like dark summoning events for this. I think we missed an opportunity, but the team's been busy, so that is what it is.
Oh yeah, I love that.
All right, so let's. I want to set up for later tonight. I want to actually do two different giveaways. I'm kind of springing one on you here because I'm just feeling generous tonight. So we have two giveaways to do, and I just want to kind of prep our listeners for that. One giveaway is the promotion that we've been running for ADFK Arcade, where if you've wagered for raffle tickets, we're putting your name in a drawing, and so we're closing that as of right. Well, actually, just as the show started, we have all of those entries totaled up, and we are going to give away a few items for that. And then I also want to spin the wheel a couple times as well because we're still sitting on a few items that we have to give away. And I don't know, they're kind of burning a hole in the pocket. So, wanting to feel generous, are you okay with doing two giveaways? One for the wagering and one for our listeners?
Yeah, we might as well. Let's get those items sent away.
All right, love it. So, we haven't had a real chance to kind of hash out how are you feeling about the game system in totality. There's been a lot of talk about heroes summoning cooldowns. There's been a lot of talk about the pools that are opening up with over on the Hercules network, those Genesis pools. Where do you want to take this kind of next? I have a few places that I want to touch on, but I also want to give you a chance to speak
Sure.
what you've been thinking about.
Let's hit a dev dive real quick and see if
Oh
that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
segues us. Usually
absolutely.
we end up, I feel like we end up mentioning something and we get off the rails onto our next topic accidentally. So
There you
yeah.
go.
Um, all right. So yeah, this weekend I spent a fair amount of time updating the background code for the combat prep page. And what I would say is I'm learning a lot. I'm learning more about the mechanics all the time. I've made it a lot easier to add equipment now in the future as new items are released, so I don't have to spend so much time. And the cool thing will be that I don't haven't deployed that yet, by the way. I still have a little bit of testing to do. A couple things I'm not happy with, but yeah, so you'll be able to choose from the drop downs if you want to override to test out the gear. You'll be able to choose a weapon, armor, accessory, and offhand. And
Love
that's
that.
pretty cool. So you should be able to pick from every item. And again, I don't have ranges allowed yet. So, like, is it a 10% block or a 12% block? Right now, I'm just kind of using the smallest values so you can kind of get a feel for it. But in the future, I'll probably add, input boxes where you can say, oh, I want to pretend like this charges mask, has 18% extra damage. So that'll be coming down the road, but at least you'll get a sense of what item to item does. And I kind of made an executive decision on the secondhand pants. I tell you what, from a dev perspective, it's really
Oh
frustrating
my
to
gosh,
have
there's so many
one
options.
item with three options. Yes.
And then
So,
and then the range of options within each of those too.
oh my gosh, exactly. So, yeah. So basically, you'll be able to see secondhand pants, and then in parentheses, it'll say speed or evasion or slow. And so
Love it.
that you'll pick the one that you want there. So I hope they don't do too much more of that because it's a lot of effort. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. That should be coming here in the next couple of days, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
I think, equipment has retained value. I love the drop rates. I think it's awesome, when you have things like an Excalibur going for $2,500. I mean, that is maximizing why and what we're all about with the play to earn kind of mechanisms that are out there. There's gore axes that are going for the floor price of $20, and those aren't even released. Like you can't even like the berserkers are not out yet. So I feel like other classes are going to come out that are really going to love those gore axes. The
right.
the demon drumstick, that's $36, and like that's like not even playable. I mean, of course, I think a priest could use it, but who's using it with a priest right now? Um,
Right. Yeah.
it's just it's awesome. I absolutely love this. You got a Bachler recently, right? A yoke
Yeah,
Bachler.
that's right. Yep. Yep.
Did you
It
decide
was
what
a
you're gonna
pretty
do with
solid
it?
one.
You were kind
I
of
got it
trying to decide.
listed.
Okay, is
Yeah,
this you
it's
listed
listed.
right here?
Oh, it's like,
There's only one.
yeah, it must be. I've seen since I listed it, I've seen two come and go underneath my price,
Uh
so
huh.
that tells me that I might be a tad high. Um, but
seven
I'm not like,
percent repose is
yeah, I'm not super motivated to sell. It's like if it goes for this price, I'll be happy. But I feel like if I start lowering it down below 15K, I'm gonna start to feel like I should have held for just the potential of the item. So that's where I'm kind of struggling. Hold, sell, hold, sell.
yeah. I've struggled with every time I've gotten a piece, like I've listed it way too high, like you, and then I'm like,
Yep.
all right, I'll take it off the market and I'll just use it. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because it's helping my heroes level up, and that's important too. So I like that.
I would say I did try this out with my a mythic knight for a couple of days. Problem was is that knight was like 2 or 3 levels under the other two heroes I had, and so I was trying to do the chicken hunt, and it was hard because the frontline hero was low level, and so I got frustrated a little bit. But it's funny since I took it off, that hero leveled up, and it was a level 15 level up, so it got lots of points, and now I feel like the hunt's much easier, and I'm like, well, maybe I should throw this back on there, and then it's a cakewalk.
Right. All right. So looking at chat here, these guys are cracking me up. And I'm not even going that far back, but Beef saying don't trust gas station glasses, and then Sir Worm with this is great. The statement is universal. Don't trust gas station blank. Like it could be anything. Um,
Uh,
yeah, that's fantastic.
I love it.
All right, Code Green saying warriors love gore axes. Yes, I have not bought a gore axe, but I'm sure my warrior would love that.
See, I don't know, man. I had the exact opposite effect. I've got a high level warrior that he's level 19 now. He was 18 when I was using the Gorax. But the slow on him, because I was doing him with like level 10s and 12s, and he's 19, so he
Mm,
had to carry the show. And the speed hit on him was just unmanageable. Like he had so few turns, I couldn't kill even the baby boars in time. Even though he was doing a ton of damage, he just didn't get to go enough. So I don't know. I really struggled with that. I'm glad people like it and they're figuring ways to do it. Maybe my heroes just got bad agi. And if you have an intention of kind of using that, go for more of an agility build.
hmm.
But it was like I couldn't beat the boars reliably. And once I took it off and put the gore blade back on, it's a cakewalk. So
Interesting.
it's tough. I don't know. I think your hero build with the equipment has to jive and synergize.
Yeah, it makes a difference for sure. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the Hercules swap. Bob Nothing gave us, like 45 minutes of how to get into this Genesis pool last time. I'll be honest, like right after that stream, I figured it out and I aped in with a lot of. I don't have much jewel left over now. I kind of I kind of used all the rest of the dry powder, and I'm trying to ramp in actually some more money now from Robinhood, which is a whole story in itself that maybe I'll get into later if I'm feeling like rambling. Um, but I put a little bit of some of the jewel bags in there. Split it into jewel and metis, and have been doing that. How about you? Did you get a position?
Yeah, I did. I had some liquid jewels sitting around, and I had some gardens in Crystalville still that had a fair amount. I mean, not a lot, but I was like, this is earning me like 1.5 crystal a quest run. Like, I'll gamble it on something else instead. So yeah, I did
Right.
I did put some in there and switched it over and learned like you did. And I don't know. I don't really care what happens, to be honest. If it ends up being profitable, cool. It was kind of fun. It was a learning curve. It's I actually have metas now in MetaMask, so I can do things there when the time comes. So
Right.
I consider that a lesson learned. And I got gas over there. So yeah, I overall I'm not as excited as some, but I hope it is reason for excitement in the future.
I couldn't agree more. I feel like it's the risk was Jewel moons and Metis doesn't. Like, and from an opportunity cost risk standpoint, like that's decent because there's kind of these unknown APRs that you're gonna get, and really the only opportunity cost risk is like, all right, Jewel 10x's all of a sudden, and it's like, oh, that would have been the better short term play as an investment. And I felt like, I mean, that could certainly happen, but for me, and that's why I'm ramping in a little more money, and I guessed wrong on my federal income taxes, so I have a little bit of a surplus, a refund coming back to me. So I'm like, ooh,
Nice.
this I'll sneak this one in. The better half doesn't need to know about this entering into crypto, um,
uh,
and so
yes.
I'm throwing that in, and it's kind of like it's money I never had now, and so giving me an opportunity to kind of continue to be a Jewel Maxi and continue to be a DeFi Kingdoms Maxi, which uh, we kind of are all at heart here. So yeah, that's my take on it. Kind of, I'm gonna pretty much ignore it for the next 4 months during my lock period. I feel like that'll be better for my sanity. I'm not doing the brown gent or the Just Crypto where I'm getting into a lot of pools. And I'd love to. I just don't have like the mental capacity and bandwidth that those guys have to just go research these projects and to go farm all these different airdrop stuff.
Yeah, I hear you there. I do like that this caused me to kind of step out of my comfort zone a little bit. Learning about these new Uniswap pools where you can do, you're providing your liquidity to, zones of price instead of the whole continuum of price. Like I learned a lot about, the newer Uniswap protocol. So that was really cool to know how that works, and it's fascinating what kind of use cases that provides, where you can set multiple positions in the same pool with different price ranges and targets to do really cool things. So yeah, I'm glad I learned it, but I'm kind of with you. I'm just gonna kind of forget about it and hope that when I come back, it's a little bigger than when I left.
This is kind of like my caveman brain trying to. That's a great point, and I'm trying to take what you said and also take into account what was said during an AMA where someone asked like, are we going to update to the newest Uniswap protocol? And the team kind of said, and again, this is my caveman brain here, but like, no, we have a bazaar that kind of solves our future needs. And I feel like, the team was throwing out maybe in retrospect like some hints towards like liquidity pools are not the way of the future with DeFi kingdoms. Like they are going to definitely leverage a different economic system. And then they put their money where their mouth is a few weeks after or a week after that AMA where, they took all the dollars that were in this validator pool and threw it over into this Hercules pool. So I don't know. I could be totally blowing smoke because again, caveman brain here. But that's kind of my reaction to what you're saying, and then relating it to what I'm hearing in the AMAs.
Yeah, it was funny because I asked that question, and I asked it like for months and months, or maybe even a year ago, because I heard that they were working on back in the day. I heard that Uniswap was working on limit orders, which is something that really interests me, and that's kind of what the Bazaar helps solve. So it's kind of funny they created the Bazaar to solve some of the problems that I feel like have since been solved by Uniswap itself. So it's kind of this weird thing, like where does Mythic Swap stand with this DEX and some of these more capabilities? And I get that. I forget if who it was had the point on that AMA about not wanting to force players to move their LP again. I mean, I get that, but at the same time, this is an actively developed game and ecosystem. I mean, you kind of got to keep up. I mean, there are people out there definitely who still have stuff stuck on Harmony just because they haven't come back yet. I say yeah, because they'll be back, but
People will
you know
follow APRs, like have no doubt.
they will.
Like that is, you just throw a juicy APR out there, and they will not mind the transaction costs of moving your LP. Yeah. Okay. So you know what I would say is I think this is kind of just a fascinating place that the game's going to, and we're all along for the ride now. So I really hope that this partnership with Metis and with the Hercules decks, like I hope this accounts or generates new things. Going back to your comment on like what does this do to Mythics swap? The biggest regret I have on our podcast with Fox is we did not talk about Mythic swap, and that was on my list. And we were just getting so entrenched in duels that I totally forgot that we had that question out there. But I think that's something that's worth bringing up with them at some point. They had this big announcement about this idea of Mythic swap, and it's like, is it relevant anymore? I don't know. Like, are they going to spend development time on this? Yeah, I have no idea now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it honestly had fallen completely off my radar, other than every once in a while I see the logo in Discord, like, oh yeah, there's a server for that. Other than that, I have almost completely forgotten about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's. We need to come up with some kind of answer a question for our chat to get into our giveaway. And while we are, thinking on the fly, we are going to go and start our ADFK arcade giveaway. One of two giveaways tonight. The arcade giveaway is not a must be present to win. This was a investment of wagering Crystal on the ADFK arcade. We put a bunch of information out on the Discord server and on Twitter about this. So let me bring that information up. All right, so you sent me an image here. You dropped all the data into Excel, and what you did is you normalized all of the entries based on the amount wagered. And then what you've done is you've assigned if we're looking at a random number between 0 and 999, you've helped assign the normalized value of the crystal wagered to a number. And so we're going to use a random number generator to give out some of these items. And so everyone's items, we're not going to remove these numbers as we're drawing. And so that's kind of in fairness to the people who have invested more crystals. So any additional comments you have on this?
Yeah, no. So basically, yeah, you're right. For example, Burnham, if a 0 to a 291 gets rolled, well, he wins that one. And like you said, we won't take him out. But obviously, if somehow the random number generator pulled the same number twice, I'll keep track of the number just to make sure that doesn't happen. But that's not likely.
Right. And I was referring more to we're not going to remove that name. And so,
yes,
if we get
well.
I didn't think of your concept of if we get a 290 and another 290, does Burnham win twice? I was thinking more of if we get a 290 and then a 10, Burnham wins twice.
Right. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, so we will only let one number win once, but a person can win multiple times. Absolutely.
All right, so our prize pool for the ADFK arcade: 2 greater fortune crystals, 2 greater vigor crystals, 1 greater chaos crystal, and 1 greater swiftness stone. So we're going to work down that list. And so here we go to the random number generator. And as you can see, I just tested it out earlier. So this is not a first result. So all right, I'm going to go ahead and slap that generate button, and this will be...
if you want to call the item out, I'm going to kind of be typing this as we go. So if you want to call out the item you're rolling for, and then
for sure
the number, I'll record that. That way,
yeah,
I don't have to go back and rewatch everything,
Yep, absolutely. And again, for those of you listening there, we are going to do an additional giveaway for all of our current listeners right now. So hang tight while we give away to our awesome arcade players. So we're going to do 2 greater fortune crystals. All right, 2 greater fortune crystals. All right, so the first one is going to 967, which is Tad. 9129. 967 goes to Tad.
All right, got it. Got Tad for the win for the first one.
All right, so that was the first greater fortune crystal. Second greater fortune crystal is 426. 426 goes to Clash.Hope. Congratulations, Clash.Hope. All right, now we're going to do the 2 greater vigor crystals. All right, so for the first one, 33. That's Burnham. All right, for the second greater...
for Burnham.
Second greater vigor crystal is 17. So, great example.
Wow.
Also Burnham. Yeah, 33 and 17. Good luck there, Burnham. Thanks for playing. All right, now we're going to go to greater chaos crystal. 160. Burnham again. All right, random numbers favoring Burnham right now. Now, this is for the bee's knees, the greater swiftness crystal going to...
Wait, hold on. Greater crystal stone.
Right, yes, thank you.
Yeah, we got to get this. This is the big dog here.
Yeah, this is the big one. Greater swiftness stone goes to 545. Clash.hope.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you all for participating
Hey, we
in
got one
this.
more. Remember, we got a hero.
Oh, yeah, we got a hero as well. I forgot about that. This is the hero with.
I posted it in the announcements.
You posted in the announcements. I gotta bring this up on screen.
It's not a fantastic, but
All
it's a common wizard with resurrection. I thought that'd be kind of a cool giveaway.
right. Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, so bring it up right now. There's that Resi in active 2.
All right, let's get a roll.
All right, rolling. 792. All right, 792 goes to Tad.
All right, okay. We got, you
Congratulations,
know, honestly,
792.
I kind of like that. The people who played seem to have won and fairly distributed here, so I think that's a pretty good pretty good display of randomness working.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so now we need to come up with some kind of question for our viewers to weigh in on now. What do we got? We need must be present to win answer. Um, how about this? We're talking a lot about equipment, accessories, things that are attaching to your hero. What is your favorite accessory that you are attaching to your hero right now? And I will
Oh,
start throwing those names into the random wheel while Neindorf is going through kind of his explanation of what your favorite accessory is to attach.
yeah. All right, so I think um A, it's funny, and B, it's kind of minorly helpful. I think the bonnet, the bunny bonnet or whatever, that is pretty hilarious. And the fact that they actually made it give you 1% speed boost makes me kind of chuckle. So honestly, that's one of my favorite ones right now. Another one, I think it's going to be my favorite here in the near future is going to be the Duels Champions medals. I picked up a few of those. I think those are going to be really necessary in the coming duels season. I think that extra 3 to 6, 7, 8, or 9 points could be a make or break. There's just more and more heroes are getting to levels 18 to 20. So you're not just going to maybe get stomped as much as you may have by the level 20 dreads that are out there. If you've got some 19s or 20s to meet it up, it could come down to a couple points a lot more easily than I think it could have in the past. So to me, I think that duels medal is going to be huge.
I I love that, and I feel like duels have been kind of slept on naturally for the last little while because we've been in a hiatus. The last of the pauses between duel seasons.
I
All
like,
right,
so yeah, we've got party hats, we've got charger mask, cooler heads, the shield, nothing for Ben Forrest, sell it all. I love that. Bachler.
all right.
This is great. Honestly, everybody's got something else they like. I think that's like we've always said, that's what makes this game great. There's something for everybody.
I love that Jeremy's is the Bachler, comma yoked. Love that.
Oh, this is great. We give
Chris
it
with the
another, what, should we give it another
Gorbo.
minute here?
Yeah, I would say Gorbo and Sir Worm also saying Gorbo.
So I
Yeah.
got an interesting take on that. So I kind of followed, Franz and some of these other people making kind of some a super dex archer. And I think for the price, I don't know if the price has shifted or not, but you could get sort of similar results from the Charger's Mask versus the Gorbo if you have a high enough dex to account for that loss of accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of something interesting that, the end result's very similar, but the means of getting there is very different. And it's kind of like, well, at that moment, the bows were about 4 grand and the masks were about 1 grand. So it's like, well, I'd much rather have a mask right now. I can get one cheaply.
AA free on Team Sell It All. All right, I mean, we
We
got
got a couple of those, yeah.
all
I
right.
would say I'm on the sell it most team.
Freak saying Jack o' Lantern.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I did too.
No Vizzies? I don't see any Vizzies in here. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah. All right. Wagme saying Gorbo if I had it, or Gorblade if I had it.
Yeah, those are what? Those are they still about 900 crystal, I think.
Yeah. Justice Team Sell It All. That's I mean that's a if we did a pie graph, that's the one with the biggest slice. Oh, and emerging is changing his answer from Gorbo to Sell It All. Sell it most.
Yeah. All
Love
right, what do
that.
you think?
All right,
We're
so
getting
let's.
in on that.
Yeah, I think we gave the chat enough time that we got some good answers here. If someone trickles in the next 10 seconds, we'll throw them in. So how many spins are we gonna do?
Uh, let's see here. I don't know. Should we get how many items do I have to distribute already? Let's do a good four, don't you think?
4 sounds good to me. And I just saw that Eric jumped in. I don't think I had
We'll
it in
do,
here
should we just
first.
do regular crystals? I'm not sure what flavor we have, but should we just say regular crystals for the moment?
Well, let's let the wheel decide.
Oh yeah. Have we guaranteed that we've got all the items on here?
Hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll pony up
All
if we don't
right.
get it. Yeah, we'll have to get more clever with this as we're running out of items.
Yes.
All right, we got a greater crystal is item 1.
Greater crystal. All right.
Item 2, regular stone.
All right.
Item 3, regular crystal. Are you taking notes? Because I'm going to
Yes,
forget
I
this.
am.
Okay. And item 4, last item to give away. Regular crystal.
I could take the honorary title of ADFK secretary, I suppose. I would feel like that.
I like it. All right. And we got one more late edition here with code green.
Get them in. That's great. Yeah,
El
good thing. Good thing you're checking that.
Elgrin's Aegis. All right, so that is it.
Ooh.
We have our full list. We're gonna spin 4 times. The first one is Deindorf, stenographer
All
extraordinary.
right. Greater crystal.
Greater Crystal, spinning to win. We have. It's close. A free. Sell it all. Okay. DM Neindorf tonight with your OX, and we will get you hooked up. What are we doing for that crystal? Dealer's choice, Neindorf.
Yeah, I honestly, I'll have to check the wallet, and I will. Yeah, it's possible I can look at it too, and maybe even give a choice to the person if they're up for it. I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately.
Okay.
What's left in the wallet, that is.
Choice. I like that. All right. We're going to
Regular stone is the next one.
regular stone and AA free. You're out now. Regular stone. Emerging. Sell it all. All right. So 2 sell it or sell it most. Sell it most.
So the most. So all
All
right.
right.
And
Emerging.
then
DM Neindorf with your OX.
that's right. I think we do have our Discord and everything posted here in the YouTube notes usually, right? So that just in case someone wasn't certain and stumbled upon us here and joined us.
I think so. If not, I think everyone knows how to get to, yeah, our Discord and then get to Nine Door for myself. So
All right.
yeah. All
And
right.
then the last two are regular crystals.
Last two are regular crystals. Oh wow, this is crazy. Ben Force with Sell It All. All right, so far we've had Sell It All, Sell It Most, and Sell It All. This is a play to earn group that we have going on here. All right, for the last one, I think we only have one more Sell It All, and it's Just.
So let's see if they do
Yeah.
a clean sweep.
Nope, it is Sir Wern with the Gorbo. Sir Wern, congratulations. Love you. ADFK
Honestly,
King forever.
I can't argue with that one. I feel like some of my most successful teams have had Gorbos on them the whole time. And I've only had like one for a long, long,
Yeah.
long time. So I, it does have an impact on
It
success
gives a
with these
lot of consistency to
archers.
your damage, and archers are so meta right now. Um, like I feel like you, I don't know. For me and my teams, I don't have enough warriors to really hold their own weight. So I mean, I need to have an archer in every single battle that I'm doing, at least one. And if I bring two archers, the battle usually ends up better for me. So yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I've had a lot of success with a warrior with a gore blade and an archer with the bow. And if you put the two together, it's just lights out.
Yeah. I agree. I got my teams that I'm regularly going. Most of my, and like a lot of my heroes right now that I'm leveling up, honestly, are Gen Zeros, because I just I'm still building the heroes that are going to be my future or eventual PvP monsters, and so right now I'm just gaining the experience of my Gen Zeros, and let's be honest, Gen Zeros, they're not the prettiest when it comes to stats. And so I'm outfitting most of my Gen Zeros with at least one piece of actually, I am outfitting all of my Gen Zeros that I'm battling with at least one piece of equipment, um, if not two, with some of them with the armor as well.
Yeah, I like that. And it's funny too how, to your point about Gen Zers, I feel like some of the other generation heroes that were like the original Serendale heroes, like how we thought that their stats were good, and it's like, ooh, like some of those are now like at the bottom of the barrel for like
Right.
level 15, and it's like, oh, why did I take that hero so high?
Even the PJs are struggling to keep up.
They are.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you to our listeners out there. We've had fun with another giveaway. And thank you for everyone who went out and played ADFK Arcade as well. And glad you had a chance to wager crystals. We are still in a lull period, and those guys are getting ridiculous return on their investment, because those raffles are continuing on. And I did this probably for, I don't know, like 3 weeks straight, and then I took a hiatus because I wouldn't have invested in heroes instead. But I won four larger greater crystal packs. And I mean, if you can wager and win one of those in the raffle system, I mean, you are just going to be money ahead. As long as duels are not out, like arcade is the best kept secret. So um, a quick secret to our 23 listeners out there: if you really want to invest in this, it gives you a great chance to get a cost effective way to get your dual raffle tickets out there, and hopefully you can go win something in the castle raffle. And then even once dual comes back, we still argue, or we still position ourselves as a time efficient way to earn raffle tickets. And so, with a few clicks, you can wager a lot of crystal, and you don't have to, go through all the clicking required for duels. So, I hope that people continue to play, and you know, I think we have some things cooking up in the future for how we can continue to expand the ADFK arcade, if we can continue to get good feedback from our players out there. So, yeah, I'll leave that as a teaser for maybe next time or the time after.
Yep, sounds good. I think you're right. It's we've got some ideas. We hope people enjoy what they're doing and what's happening here. And like you said, yeah, we're not going away. The game will be here. We'll keep tweaking and having fun with it.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Have a good night.